be calling you a radical. So, perfect place to do a video about the bank collapse, because this was the banking capital of the world at one time, Ogden, Utah. Mariner Eccles, Federal Reserve's name, when everything collapsed, he scooped them all up. This was the banking hub of the world. World Bank was invented here. So the bank collapsed, and I got to, getting to walk in. I want to go get some just Stimson's and get some that good chicken, some of the potato logs, some of the deep fried pork chop. What? They tore down Stimson's? Yeah, they tore down everything good in this freaking town. So go to Apollo and get a enchilada. So I got to post this picture. Popped up today, 24 years ago today. God, March 11th, what a number. Fukushima. So when Weber State upset North Carolina, I was at that game. March 11th. Let's party like it's 1999. So 99, everything collapsed. I mean, Foxconn News, the election of 2000. Remember peeking out the window in the Florida Supreme Court? Look at what the debt was in 99. But anyway, so the bank collapsed. So they changed all the leverage laws, right? So I taught the banking class at Weber State, #1 school of business in the country as a student professor. The leverage, they changed all the laws. I mean, they changed these leverage laws. This is deposits to loans used to be basically 2 to 1. Now it's 20, 30, 40, 50 to 1. I mean, leverage ratios, 5%, 4%, 6%, 8%. Are you kidding me? I wonder why this happens. These crooked bankers, they're so leveraged up that it doesn't take much of a run on a bank. And so then one of the senior bankers comes out and makes a statement. We need $1.2 billion. Well, what's triggered that? Cryptocurrencies. These are leveraging to crypto. So we have what we call M1, M2, M3, M4. That's the money supply, right? Okay. Crypto doesn't cut in any of it. And it just shows you how big crypto is and how much money was created in that bubble. And that money spilled into the economy. Not to mention, Biden and Trump, the twins, dumped $11.5 trillion onto the economy, which flooded into the housing market. These guys went housing mortgage loan crazy. Again, bank bailout on Balco on chemo. The PP loan was bigger than, that sham was bigger than the bank bailout in 2008. So, what a sham. God, the mighty Ben Loma's something else today. Let's go to Stimson's and get some chicken. It's deep fried. What? FUKUSHIMA. So, it's crooked bankers. The crypto, I look, and it's not a finite commodity. Crypto, people are mining it every day. Mining it. What a joke, I call it mining. Creating it out of thin air. And so this thing's unwound, and these people all fell for it. Praying that it'll come back. You got all these billionaires buying it. Every time it dips around 20, we're going to buy it and rally back up. Well, that's okay. I guess, 4 people can own it all when they keep creating more. It's just like gold and silver. Remember, I used to do things, get out of gold in 2011. Remember, I had you buy an Apple and Tesla? God, what did he turn out to be? Gold's cheaper than it was in 2011, right before I got cancer. Silver's the same price. What's this U.S. stock market done? There's Bernard DeVoto's house right there. Who's that? His house is right there. 44. So I'd imagine there's hundreds of them. Banks leveraged up. So you're going to see more and more of this because it's corrupt bankers. They're so leveraged. It doesn't take much of a run, and then it comes out, we need to raise some money. So you get a little bit of a run on a bank, and next thing you know, they're buried. This was one huge bank. Tied apparatus, everything. Well, it just goes to it. Kevin White, science fiction economics. The World Bank's right down the street where it was invented. I knew Mariner Eccles personally. He used to call me and my twin sister Hansel and Gretel. And anyway, Federal Reserve's named after him. You know, when he read the show, and then Ayn Rand Greenspan took over in 1987, I knew right then. I did the PPI and the CPI for the university for Weber State then. I taught the class. I taught a lot of classes. We were the #1 school district in the country. And I remember Kyle Madsen told me, he says, Kevin, you got it wrong. I've never seen you miss it ever in your career on the PPI, CPI before. I says, I didn't get it wrong. There's inflation happening a tiny bit. This is in the spring of 2000. Greenspan slashed. Greenspan got it wrong. We basically cut the rate since the spring of 2000. I mean, for 20 years, and now we raise it up a little bit. People are freaking out. The historical rate used to be 7 point. Well, I used to just tell you what's Babe Ruth's batting average. 714, 7.14, the rule of doubling. Remember? It's been low for so long. Now the historical rate in the history of the country's cleared down to around 6. We call it liquidity. You mix in cryptocurrency out of thin air, and I think people I know they underestimate how gigantic cryptocurrency is and how much it's contributed to this inflation bubble and how much of it's out there. The wealth that was created there was staggering. No one has a handle on it. How big? Well, this bank was tied to it. A lot of these banks are. They're diving into unregulated banking. Remember Snow Job under the Bush administration? Remember that dude? Whoa. You know, they just slashed all regulations. It's the Wild Wild West out there. That savings and loan scandal here. The mayor of Ogden went to prison for the savings and loan scandal. I knew him personally too. I'm Madsen Meekum. I've known every mayor in this freaking town since everyone personally. I used to teach with Godfrey. Oh, God, don't even get me going. This guy's the worst we ever had, Caldwell. But anyway, I'm glad that I'm getting out and about a little bit now. You know, it's been a hell of a journey since Christmas Eve, since I had open heart surgery on January 10th. I almost died. I came really close to dying. My perfectly good heart valve. And so we're going to see more of it. People want to know if they should get out of credit union. Well, the federal government's got your bank accounts guaranteed, I think, to $250,000. They'll just print more money and throw it out there. So, but shareholders and these banksters, they'll get away with it, just like the nuclear energy crime syndicate. By the way, the big issue, how about the bank out on the nuclear energy crime syndicate? It's even, bank bailout on chemo, Status King Cuomo. You know, he goes to prison yesterday, gets found guilty in Ohio, nuclear energy bailout. Well, what about the people that bribed him? Well, they're just like the bankers. They're the same clan. They'll get away with it. And you, the taxpayer, will take it right up like we always do. You know, bend over and take it. You know, that's what we do. And that's what's going to happen again. This bank collapse is gigantic, you know, to this fairy tale economy and science fiction economics. More to come? Oh, fuck yes. There's so many over-leveraged banks. It's like I reported it when Merrill Lynch went down. I told everybody, you know, before Lynch went down, what was that, 2006 or 7, Bear Stearns went. And I says, well, when Bear Stearns, I says, you short Merrill Lynch now. Short the shit out of it. They'll go next. They didn't bail them out, did they? They didn't bail Merrill Lynch out. And they didn't bail Bear Stearns out. But then they bailed everybody else out. Jamie Dimons, they sure bailed out the big one. Goldman Sachs. You know, they bailed all them out. They bailed Zions out here. Remember Barnes went down here? I knew Barnes was going down. I told people all the time. Remember telling my lawyer, attorney, Randy Richards. God, he turned out to be a piece of work, didn't he? That he says, God, you knew that before it was going to happen. I says, I used to teach these auditors. I mean, these auditors, they know. Remember, the auditors telling Zion's way more leverage than Barnes, but they let Barnes too big to fail, too big to jail. You know, nuclear, FUKUSHIMA, because nothing else matters. So, more to come. You're going to see what there's no sense of running and bailing out your bank account. Your bank accounts are guaranteed the $250,000. You know, they'll just print more money and give it to you. But how long will they take you to get that money? I remember when the savings loan scandal was going here in the 80s. And you can only get $200 out of your bank account. That's not going to happen. You know, there's no, I think probably panics on banks is probably healthy right now because it's going to expose a lot of corrupt ass bankers. But the problem with that is we know what the rules are. Still a billion, pay back $1 million. That's not a deterrent. That's an incentive. They'll do nothing to these banksters. You know, they'll put them up on a pedestal. There ain't none of them going to jail. There ain't none of them doing nothing. They're going to grandstand them and create, you know, it's like Elizabeth Holmes. Is she in prison? You know, how much money did she steal? Billions. You know, not to mention how many people she respond. I was full of cancer when people were taking her tests, her fraud test, and arguing with oncologists. You know, I remember them in there. I was in the bone marrow transplant center when that was all happening. Really? March 11th. Wow, what a day. So, banksters, they're over leveraged. And the feds don't give a shit. It's the wild, wild west of banking. We started deregulating it again in the 2000s. You know, let's party like it's 1999. Harold Arsenault, the show, Eddie Gill beat North Carolina. They had Miller and Haslam. I think Haslam's still in the NBA, right? For all those years. It's been all downhill ever since. You know, reeling out of control debt, hyper psychotic inflation, crumbling infrastructure, longevity headed south. It poisoned food chain, poisoned air, poisoned water, train derailments all over. You know, tide pools collapse, salmon collapse. You know, I'm watching your nephew going to get us some food. So, God, she's driving. That's scary. Don't drink the water.